v.h.s.x? What do you mean?
I hate Garden of Joy. It probably goes without saying. On streams and videos, just normal gameplay, I hate this map. If you played Killer for longer than 5 minutes, maybe an hour, or if you're just not somebody who only gets on Killer for just challenges, you're probably going to agree with me. I would have to say it's my least favorite map next to Eyrie of Crows, but I was sent there so many times by survivors when the map offerings had more than a 20% chance to send you anywhere. Which, thankfully, that change went through, because I had gone to Eyrie of Crows, I think, probably almost every match straight, I think. It was like a streak of just Eyrie of Crows. Every match. Without fail. So, as a result, I actually did end up getting a lot better at the map. And I can't say I enjoy it, but it's definitely not as bad as Garden of Joy. The one upside is the map is in the same realm as Greenville, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and the Walking Dead map. And the fact that the map offerings are much weaker, it's probably a lot less of a chance that I'm going to end up seeing the Garden of Joy map. But what makes the map so terrible? So let's go over a few points, a few things that we can go over talking about it. The map size is one of the biggest issues, but not as big as the main issues with the entire map. It's a small piece of the bigger pie that we're really going to get into today. So quickly we'll go over map size. It's mainly a big issue for killers with no teleports, map mobility, or anything to help them cross the map quickly and efficiently. This is in combination with the fact that there's gaps of downtime that add up when playing killer, such as picking up, traveling to the hook, completing the animation, and then beginning the travel to the next area. Large maps will contribute to both the downtime and only emphasize a killer's lack of map presence. So characters like Trapper, Ghostface, other killers on those kinds of maps are going to struggle, including Skull Merchant, Pig, even some range killers probably, Chucky. The next part is to consider that the idea that the map is incredibly safe for survivors, as the massive amount of pallets and connecting tiles make the map incredibly difficult to maintain pressure, as it includes map size and incredibly strong tiles. But even worse than that is the main building. The main building has a window in the dining room that connects directly into a god pallet. As you can probably imagine, even if you try to get a survivor to vault, they will always reach the god pallet and therefore be completely safe to rotate again to vault through that same window. But it doesn't stop there. Directly in front of that window has a single jungle gym. It could be a variation of like a 4-lane. You'll probably see like 4 walls and a pallet there. Sometimes it's like an actual jungle gym where they have a window and a pallet. So there's usually a tile jungle gym of some kind always in front of that window by the dining room. But it's not over yet. The main building has god windows that spawn on the back wall toward the window that survivors can easily use to gain free distance and rotate back to the dining room window stated before. Sometimes you even get a window that spawns in front of the house that connects to a pallet in front of it, which is possible to mind game, but you can easily get stuck on the wall, preventing you from getting a hit. Let's also not forget the gen that spawns on the top, which has an angle that allows you to see down the staircase, preventing you from being able to actually get any free assistance. And on top of that, there's a window right next to that generator, making it a lot easier for them to be able to escape, depending on the killer you choose. The dining room is the most well-known and the most safe, as survivors who vault don't stagger, which means as a killer you aren't able to gain precious distance to counter such a vault. Other little known detail is that the tiles of the walls, which are little wood panels and stuff like that creating fences, your red stain actually does bleed through the window. or not the window, but the little cracks between those little panels. So it makes it basically impossible to mind game in a lot of ways, unless you're able to have some form of undetectable, whether it be in your base kit or your build. And ultimately, I have to say that Garden of Joy is a symptom of the greater issue that the game has, which is overall the bad map design, which only hinders the low tiers and essentially becomes an automatic loss for a killer player the second they spawn in. Just because they're unlucky enough to end up just getting that map instead of any other map that has a much better chance for a win. And that to me, I think, is a massive issue, which has been in the game for a very long time. There has been plenty of maps that you kind of spawn in and just know automatically, like, this is going to be a rough game. I'm probably not going to win this. And Eyrie of Crows, I think, used to be that. They did slightly adjust it, and then on top of that, they added a new variation for it, so it does kind of reduce some of that sort of bad feeling of going there. Dead Sands, arguably, still being the much easier variation if I had to choose. And on top of the fact that now we have much weaker map offerings to really help out against that kind of thing. You know, as much as it is a hit for the killer players, because I know a lot of us like to have gone to our favorite maps, especially when we're playing very map-dependent killers. Ghostface comes to mind. Usually I would want to go to RPD or Midwich because it's just a lot easier to not have to travel 20 yards just to get one hit, you know? And, you know, but it's for the greater good, obviously. You won't get sent to the Macmillans constantly, or the Eyrie of Crows, or the Garden of Joys all the time. It's just a lot easier to deal with. So, you know, on one hand, it's a good thing, but on the other hand, it just kind of sucks if you want to have a good map that's better for your killer. Now, one thing I will say, though, is that the forest map used to be just as bad. Thankfully, they did actually reduce the size of it, and it is a lot more manageable now. Which is, I think, the temple map, I think, if that's what it's called, like Temple of Purgation or something like that. Definitely a lot more manageable in comparison. But that's my thoughts, really, on Garden of Joy. One of my least favorite maps. I think it's still the number one on my list for least favorite maps in the game. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you agree or disagree? Do you enjoy this map? And if you main killer, like, what's your experience on this map? On the Garden of Joy, what is the consensus? Support the channel with the links in the description. Check out the other videos. Consider following on TikTok and Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next video.